Facebook as Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Jonathan Thompson.
And I am Samuela Kworti.
Now the details. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has opened the first ever annual National Muslim Conference in Accra. It is a meeting seeking to promote education, healthcare, and finance in Zongo communities. Dr. Bawumia charged the gathering to purposely work and chart a path towards transforming lives and creating a promising future for Muslim youth in the country.
The National Muslim Conference has been established by the Muslim Caucus of Parliament and leadership of the Muslim community in Ghana. It is a meeting specifically to promote a framework to bring the various Muslim sects in the country together to live in peace and solve the myriad of challenges confronting the Muslim community. The conference also seeks to promote education, health and financial independence to enable the underprivileged in the Muslim communities to take care of themselves. The chair of the Muslim Caucus in Parliament, Mr. Mubarak Muhammad Muntaka, urged the Muslim community to unite because they stand to lose more when divided.
If we fail to take advantage of this, we have the number 2 sitting here. We have our national imam sitting here. We have very big opinion leaders across this country here. Brothers and sisters, if we fail to take advantage of this, we may be taking our country or the Muslim community 10 or 20 years back. It's this that I want to plead, that all of us will put our differences together, have an open mind, work very hard, so by the end of this conference, at least we'll have a chart, a path that will start charting.
The National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuh Sharbutu urged all Muslim sects to see themselves as one with no discrimination. The Minority Leader of Parliament, Mr. Harun Idrisu, said the leadership of the Muslim Caucus in Parliament will ensure that the rights of every Muslim, as guaranteed in the Constitution, are protected.
We should continue to promote living in harmony with other Muslims' faiths. But even as we do that, we demand not to negotiate ever, that the right of every Muslim is respected as provided for under the 1992 Constitution.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, challenged the conference to work with government to transform Muslim communities and deepen relations with other religious bodies.
It is my expectation that with a concerted interfaith effort and in partnership with various stakeholders, especially our brothers from the Christian religious and sisters from the Christian religious divide, the Ghana Muslims Conference will chart a path which will make meaningful contributions towards the development of our country.
The 4 main thematic areas of education, healthcare, finance, and protecting the rights of Muslims, the conference is expected to draw up a blueprint on how to develop Muslim communities.
The Ashanti region is the latest region to record the avian influenza disease, also known as bird flu, in the country. 3 regions, the Greater Accra, Central and Volta regions, recorded such cases in various farms 2 weeks ago. The Ashanti Regional Veterinary Officer, Dr. Malon Mensah, explains the region's first case was recorded in a poultry farm at Echuma Afrancho in the Echuma Kwanuma district of the Ashanti region after samples were taken for testing.
Now, the Regional Veterinary Directorate has begun an exercise to depopulate the birds to contain the disease. The Directorate has tasked all farmers to strictly comply with the biosecurity measures. Following the recent outbreak, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture announced a total ban on the importation of poultry and poultry products from neighboring countries where the prevalence of the disease has been confirmed. The ministry said it has intensified public awareness and sensitization by regional coordinating councils and district assemblies, especially in the affected areas.
Now, 5 containers of Rosewood have been confiscated at the Tema port. On hand to supervise the evacuation of the confiscated container, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. John Dinapu, said government's directive to ban Rosewood export still stands at confiscated ones would be donated towards the building of the National Cathedral.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources in 2014 cited the abuse of permits granted some loggers to harvest rosewood in the catchment area of the Bui Dam as the reason for the imposition of the ban on harvesting and exportation of rosewood. The ban was, however, lifted in 2017 with the minister in charge at that time, Mr. John Peter Amewu, giving over 20 companies permission to fell the trees. But in March 2019, the trade was banned again following the alleged corruption and illegal trade of the wood and has since been enforced till date. The confiscation of 5 containers at the port on 30th July 2021 attests to the fact that many are illegally still in the rosewood business. Speaking to journalists during his visit to the Tema port to inspect and supervise the evacuation of 5 containers of confiscated rosewood, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Samuel Abu Jinapo, said all rosewood confiscated will be used to support the ongoing construction of the National Cathedral.
Government is taking the decision to donate all rosewood confiscated towards the construction of the National Cathedral. Wow. So in addition to the ban on the export of rosewood, there will not even be public auction for purposes of domestic use of rosewood. All rosewood confiscated should and will be donated to the National Cathedral for us to construct the National Cathedral for the good people of this country. When the National Cathedral turns out to have enough of rosewood, we will take other measures, either to donate it to other public institutions, and if we're even minded at any stage to have a public auction for domestic use, be rest assured that it will be done in a sense with a sense of integrity.
According to the minister, government was committed to ensuring sustainable and efficient management of Ghana's land and natural resources and would work to protect it. Individuals and companies responsible for the criminal act have been reported to the Ghana Police Service for further action. The confiscated rosewood were transported to the Forestry Commission at Chimota Depot for onwards delivery to the National Cathedral project.
Ghana Broadcasting Corporation is 86 years. The state broadcaster, with just 1 television station and 1 radio station, now operates 6 television channels and 11 radio stations. From a purely public service broadcasting, GBC is undertaking reforms to reposition the corporation from bureaucracy to business.
Headquartered in Accra, the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC started its broadcasting service originally known as Station ZOY, introduced on 31st July 1935. It was later renamed the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation upon the country's independence in 1957. Broadcasting began in Ghana on July 31, 1935 from a wired relay station opened in Accra. The brain behind the introduction of broadcasting into the country was the colonial governor of the Gold Coast, Sir Arnold Hudson, affectionately known as the Sunshine Governor. He was ably assisted by British radio engineer Mr. F.A.W. Byron. By 17 GMT on that historic day, gramophone records of martial and light music were relayed, and at exactly 17:45 GMT, the voice of Sir Arnold Hudson came through to break the tension and the suspense with this explicit message. One of the main reasons for introducing the relay service was to bring news, entertainment and music into the homes of all and sundry. This was supposed to bring to an end the barriers of isolation and ignorance in the path of progress and to enable the people of the Gold Coast to improve on their very rich cultural music. The new broadcasting service was codenamed Radio ZOY. It was originally manned by 8 technicians and housed in a small bungalow on 9th Road near the Ridge Police Station in Accra. Broadcasting first began in 4 Ghanaian languages, namely Fanti, Twi, Ga, Ebe, and later Hausa. Part-time staff were engaged to translate and announce the news in these languages until 1943, when full-time staff were appointed. From 1946 to 1953, the organization was administered by the Public Relations Department, now the Information Services Department. It is only the state broadcaster which is spelled out in the Constitution. The legislation that basically set up GBC as an establishment was National Liberation Council Decree number 226 of 1968. For decades, GBC was the only broadcasting station that brought news, education and entertainment to Ghanaians. With its presence in all regional capitals and affiliates at community level, it continues to reach out to the most remote areas. GBC now operates the famous Ghana Television, GTV, a channel for events that matter most to Ghanaians, which is broadcast nationwide on analog terrestrial platform. Additionally, GBC runs 4 digital networks, namely GTV Sports Plus, a 24-hour sports channel that provides premium sports programs, GBC News, a 24-hour news and current affairs channel, GTV Live, a religious and cultural channel, Obono TV, a channel for indigenes of Greater Accra, and the Garden City TV, serving viewers in the Ashanti region. GBC also operates the GH Learning Station, serving students, especially in junior and senior high school levels. The state broadcaster also partners with other private and public service broadcasters. With the keen competition on the media landscape, GBC is embarking on a transformational agenda to assert its claim to first position on the log and to increase its revenue. The state broadcaster prides itself with content that is most professional, authentic, and edifying.
It's been about 10 days of a training program in Accra in batches for staff of the public service broadcaster GBC, with a strategy to move the corporation from bureaucracy to business. The last batch for the program, organized by the corporation's management, has ended, seeking to re-strategize, re-energize and build the capacity of the staff to improve their output to steer GBC's new direction.
The GBC training program for its staff sought to redefine the corporation's mission and vision to boost productivity and performance. It was an opportunity for staff to bond as a large family while exploring and defining core competencies necessary to move the corporation from bureaucracy to business. The presentation of the various resource persons were all geared towards helping to achieve the collective goal of the new direction and strategy for GBC. The chairman of the Finance, Marketing and Subcommittee of GBC's board, Dr. Charles Quenin, charged staff to have an attitudinal change towards work to make the agenda a reality and a successful shift from bureaucracy to business a reality.
Our leaders of past have done their best. It's now you and me. A true man will be also. The girls who have very nice.
The chairman of the National Media Commission, Mr. Yao Bueduayo, encouraged staff to work hard to help GBC move forward and stand tall.
In China, it is not so much how much you are paid. It is which company are you working for. That is what they pride themselves in. So when I say, I work for Marubeni, I work for Toyota, I work for this. That is what they look for, and that is what gives them the satisfaction.
Some staff described the training as an eye-opener and necessary.
When we heard that GBC was running a form of training, there was the usual attitude towards it. But when we came in, day 1, day 2, third day, you realize that this was a new wave. It felt very different. And I think there's been a lot of work that has gone into it. When it started, I just felt it was just a managerial gimmick, you know, but as it went on, I felt like, nah, there's a plan. There's attitude towards action. And so we are not just going to sit here and take knowledge, but you can see that the people giving out the information are ready to act.
It really has been a moment for us to rethink and think about a painful process that we need to go through to make sure that we stand strong and deliver value to our audience. So clearly, I mean, the month of July has seen us doing that. And I'll say that, I mean, yes, it's been very positive. I mean, having 3 batches, 9 days with solid resource persons, you clearly can see the wind of change blowing in GBC.
The training program had a theme, transforming GBC from bureaucracy to business.
Now, away from GBC issues, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has appointed the national organizer of the New Patriotic Party, NPP, Samuel Wuku, as the new Director General of the National Lottery Authority, NLA. Mr. Wuku, who takes over from Kofi Osei Ameao, is expected to inject some massive transformation into the state-owned institution, which in the past has been in the news for the wrong reasons.
Analysts believe that NPP Throughout the month of July this year, GBC News visited many cities, towns, suburbs and villages across the country to braze the history behind the names given to those towns. Some of the stories narrated by chiefs and indigents of such towns were sometimes funny, at other times they invoked awe, while at other times they appeared unbelievable. A professor of linguistics at the University of Ghana, who is also the dean of the School of Performing Arts, says almost all the stories behind the names of the towns and villages are true. He said by focusing on this subject, GBC News is contributing to preserving oral tradition.
Dedicated the month of July to exploring the names of towns, cities, suburbs and